showing you how to make harem pants. This is actually one of my most requested tutorials. I know it's weird, like every time I get this request, I'm like, really? Harem pants? Really? But it is one of my most requested, probably like second most requested tutorial next to a petticoat, which I'll do eventually. But anyway, I actually didn't mind doing this because harem pants were one of the first things I learned to make. And I learned to make them in the context of a salwar kameez, which is like the Indian outfit or Pakistani outfit. Because my best friend in high school was part Indian, so we used to always watch Bollywood movies. So I was like really into like Indian fashion for a while. So this is one of the first things I learned to make. It's actually really easy, it's a really forgiving pattern, and there are 1,000 different variations. I tried to convey like all the different variations on this that you can do. You can do kind of a slim fit one, just like almost just a tapered pant with some pleats. You could do like a really loose and baggy one. Yeah, there's just so many variations on this, and I really couldn't convey them all in this video, but I hope I did give you a basic idea at least of the measurements, so or how to draft the pattern. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and keep watching. Okay, so I've got my fabric laid out here. I've got it folded in half lengthwise, like the way it comes folded on a bolt. So I've got a center fold, like right here. And then I've also got it doubled up because one piece of fabric for each leg. And the fabric I'm using is a knitted fabric. And I know in the past I've said that I hate working with knits. And I do, however, I was at the fabric store the other day and this was the only thing I could find that I even remotely liked for harem pants. Now, your fabric choice, you can really use anything. This pattern works great with fabric that does not stretch. I've done this before in a broadcloth, that works pretty well. Fabric that drapes well also works really well, again, because these are harem pants, they are kind of drapey. So a georgette, a chiffon, a crepe de chine would all look amazing in this this pattern. Yeah, I'm just using knit. Use whatever you like. If you're a beginner, I'd recommend something that does not stretch. Yeah, so probably like a broadcloth would be best for a beginner. That's easy to work with. Anyway, so I've got my fabric laid out here and I need to draft the pattern. Now the first thing you need to do is measure from your waist to your ankle, or however long you want it to be, and mark that off on the fabric. Now, I've already taken that measurement. If you're not sure how to take this measurement, look in my leggings tutorial because I go into detail on that. So for me, I've already taken this measurement and I know I want it to be about 35. So I'm just gonna mark off 35. Okay, now because these are harem pants, they're drapey, they're kind of loose, you want to add some extra. So you probably want to add like maybe 4 inches to 12 inches on both the top and the bottom. So I'm going to add this much on the bottom, and then on the top I'm going to add a bit more. How much can I go up on here? Probably about this. I think that's maybe 8 inches. So this is my actual length. This is the length I'm going to cut it though. Okay, now you're going to need to start taking some measurements, some other measurements. Now, when I did my leggings, I measured around my ankle because, I mean, you're using a stretchy fabric. With harem pants, though, you're not necessarily using a stretchy fabric. Now, you want it to be as tight as possible at the ankle, but you still want to get it over your foot. So in this case, instead of measuring your ankle, you're going to point your toe and then measure around your heel. And I'm getting this measurement, and then because this is folded in half, you divide this measurement in half and then mark it off on here. Okay, and then you're going to need to measure how long your inseam is. So that's the distance from your crotch to your ankle, or however long you're making these pants. And on me, that is 25. So about here. So I'm just gonna extend these lines out a bit just to help me draft. Okay, so I hope you can see these lines. This is my ankle, this is my crotch, this is my waist, and then this is the waist where it's gonna actually, where I'm gonna cut, and then this is the ankle where I'm actually gonna cut. Okay, now harem pants are bigger at the top than they are at the bottom, so you just wanna curve from your ankle marking to the, as far as you can go on the fabric at the crotch marking. So you can use a ruler and just do a completely straight line like that, or you can curve it. Now if you want like a slimmer pair of harem pants with more draping in the middle, you could do it like this. If you want a really big puffy pair, you could drape it like this. It's really up to you. I'm gonna go for a kind of a slimmer pair, but not quite that much. So I think that's the approximate line I want to use. You need to remove some fabric from in here, otherwise it's going to be like really baggy and you're going to get a wedgie. Now in traditional like Indian like harem pants, salwar kameez pants, what they do is they just cut this straight and then they add an extra triangle of fabric, but I like it a bit more to the Western tailoring, that sense, where I'm going to cut a curve out of the crotch to really accommodate for the curvature of my butt and stuff and all of that. So just curve like this. You don't really have to measure it, it doesn't have to be exact, because I mean there's a ton of fabric here. So yeah, it doesn't have to be exact. So anyway, that is basically my pattern and I'm gonna cut that out now. Okay, so this is my pattern once it's been cut out. Now, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew up each leg to close it off. So from the ankle to the crotch. So once the leg has been sewn together, you just want to hem around the bottom. Okay, so when you've got both legs sewn, you want to turn one right side out and one leave it inside out. And then you want to place the right side out one inside the outside out one so that they're facing right sides together. Then you just want to kind of line up the seams here, the crotch seam. And you can start pinning. Now you want to line up the curve on both the inside out piece and the right side piece so that they're kind of like lined up properly. So this is it once it's all been pinned together. Now you might notice a little kind of peak here in the crotch. Don't worry so much about that. Where that comes from is when you sketch in your front and back curve and then your inseam line, whatever. This would be, if those lines don't meet at 90 degrees exactly, you're gonna get a little peak here. Don't worry about it, you can just kind of curve over it when you're sewing. It's not a big deal, it doesn't affect the finished product because I mean harem pants are kind of loose and flowy and it doesn't matter. So yeah, it doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna sew this seam now. Okay, so I've sewn it together and you probably can't see this. In fact, you absolutely cannot see this, but I've just kind of come in a bit down to get rid of this peak and I'm just gonna cut it off because right now it's just extra fabric. So see, I just curved it in like that much. Okay, and now just turn these right side out and you're pretty much done. So at this point you should have what should basically look like a pair of pants, sort of. And the only thing really left to do is to add a waistband. Now, the simplest style of harem pants, just fold it over and do a casing to run a drawstring through. If you're making these pants to pair with like a salwar kameez, Indian style, I'd recommend a drawstring. You can also just do a simple elasticized waistband. You can, fold it over, sew the elastic to it, no big deal. what I'm doing an elasticized waistband, but I'm doing it a bit separately. I've done 2 rows of elastic in a casing, and then I'm just going to sew this on separately. It's going to allow me to, it's going to be a bit neater than just sewing the elastic straight up onto it. You could also do, if you want these to be like a slim, tapered, professional looking pair of harem pants, you could do like a slim waistband right at your natural waist, kind of like the waistband I showed in my circle skirt video. That would work really great. If you were doing this as a belly dance costume, I think it would look really good in like a chiffon with a dropped waist with a wide curvy waistband. And in that case, a waistband like that is shown in my video about knife pleats. But anyway, before I add my waistband, because my waistband is quite a bit smaller than this, so what I'm going to do is just add some loose pleats. Now you could gather it, you could pleat it, I mean you could do nothing, it's completely your prerogative, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some rough pleats, kind of like this, so that it's just a bit neater, and it kind of controls the way it'll drape. Because I mean, harem pants, they get a bad rap for being like hideous and stuff, but I think they can be really beautiful because I mean, it's all about drape. So yeah, I'm just gonna do some rough pleats in here before I add the waistband just to control the drape. Okay, so I've kind of just pinned in some loose pleats. I didn't even bother taking measurements. I just kind of eyeballed it. It's not a big deal, especially because I'm going to put an elasticized waistband on top of this. So yeah, that's basically it. And now I'm just going to sew on the waistband using the exact same technique I used in my leggings video. And here are the pants. I guess they're basically done. You can go around and top stitch a bit at the top. It's really your preference. It depends on what type of waistband you're putting in. If you're doing elastic, if you're doing drawstring, if you're doing kind of a tailored waistband with a zipper, it's entirely up to you. So anyway, mine are done, so I'm gonna go put them on. So this is what they look like on. You know, I really think harem pants are not nearly as hideous as everyone makes them out to be. They're just misunderstood. They're from a different time, but I think the way they drape can be really, really beautiful. And I mean, like, I can pull these up and they can be like leggings on the bottom, or I can scoot them down and they can be baggy all the way. Like, I don't know, these are kind of awesome. I had chosen to do it in a knitted fabric instead of a better fabric because I'm just gonna wear these as pajamas. I mean, I got this in a camo print, and as awesome as this is, I'm not gonna wear it out. Although, you know how this fabric could be even more awesome is if instead of camo, it was like flag print. I think that's the only way these pants could be more awesome. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Oh, you know what? I have another pair. Let me show you the pair I made a couple years ago. I'll show it to you just a minute. Ta-da! I made this so long ago, and these are the harem pants. They've got a drawstring waist. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you try this tutorial. Harem pants are actually a lot more versatile than you think they are, but thanks for watching.